Welcome to my unofficial reading summary of the book Green Side Up by industry titan Ed LaFlamme. If you are the owner-operator of a landscaping firm and you have aspirations to grow that thing bigger and bigger to the kind of level that we know is possible by looking at other people in the industry who have already done it, then this is my gift to you. If you haven't already read Green Side Up by Ed LaFlamme, this is going to be your opportunity to hear what it has to say. I'm not going to read it out loud. I am not an audible producer, but I'm an investor in the landscaping industry. I come out of the software business myself, and this book is kind of, from what I understand, the sort of Bible of the landscaping industry for owner-operators who want to grow and scale. So with that, I'm reading it ahead of you, and I'm going to provide you this summary of the book. And so let me just give you a little bit of a view. First, we'll look at what it says here on Amazon about the book. You can go buy it for 20 bucks yourself and read it yourself. But if you'd like to go through this episode and this playlist, we'll be providing this to you. And I'm going to provide it just in this and provide you my comments on it as I directly summarize it for you. I'm not going to read it. I'm going to summarize it for you. Frequently bought together, your first year in landscaping business, and then a bunch of other books. I don't like reading myself. I like to listen to Audible books, but this book, as it says in the reviews here by someone else, they're really nice short chapters, and so you're going to see that. That is going to enable me to give you very small snippets in each chapter about what each one's about. It is one of the most meaningful books on the green industry. So if you're building a landscaping maintenance service, tree service company, or anything of that sort, Ed, and that's what we'll get into now, what it says within the first introduction of the book, okay? So with that, this is my little gift to you. Hopefully you're going to like it and see what it says. I'm going to skip the acknowledgments and get into Ed. He started his landscaping business. That's about the author. You can go read it there on the Amazon.com if you want as well. But he started his landscaping business. He was about 23. Back in an era many, many years ago. So this was 43 years ago when this thing was published, which was almost 10 years ago. So about 50 years ago. And he got into the business, started hauling things around, working out of his father-in-law's garage and so forth. And like a lot of people in this industry, we'll see one of the comments, there's very low barriers to entry. Almost anyone can get in it, got a will to do it. And that's what he did. And Ed eventually built up his business so large, he built it to a $7 million operation, sold it many years ago after having gone down the commercial route. He went down the commercial route and got big contracts with GE Capital, Olin, ABB, GTE, Bristol Myers. And so he became one of the first people to sort of cash out in that era. And then he opened a consultancy firm. And as many consultants will, he wrote a book. And this book is kind of like the Bible. It's nice. And what we see within here, so that's a little bit about him. The foreword of what he says within the foreword of the book is he says this is not a how-to book. He gives more of the philosophy around some of the things that you need to be thinking about and within your landscaping business. And if there's one thing we know here is that there's two ways to learn. The hard way, do it yourself, or by talking to other people and finding out. The challenge within the landscaping industry is many times it's people talking with other people who are learning along the way rather than learning from people who've done it. And so that's what this book provides for. It provides a perspective, as he says, of a former business owner. So this book, as he says, is for dreamers, people who have a dream and determined to build a successful business. If that's you, you might get a lot of benefit out of this book because ultimately what it does is help you provide and round out your thinking to make sure there ain't no stinking in your thinking, right? So that's what this book is here to do, to help round out the thinking and to be your sort of compatriot with that. You can go get a copy of it yourself, but I'm going to continue on with it, going down through that to talk a little bit about Ed. Within the foreword about him and just get into the introduction, and then we'll round out that and give you through, and we won't go through the various parts today, but give you the introduction to the book. Okay, so the introduction is basically, it's called Make Money or Get a Job. And so basically what he says is that a lot of people get into the business and they think that they're building a business when they start their landscaping company, but ultimately what most people wind up doing is just getting themselves a job. It's like me when I used to joke to my daughter. She, at the age of 16, she didn't cut lawns, but she started an Airbnb. She started renting out an apartment over our garage. And I joked to her, I said, well, you got yourself a cleaning job. And she eventually made a lot of money out of that cleaning job, which was nice. But, now she's gone off to college and wants to do something else because she realizes that she doesn't want to be cleaning up after people all day. And so, unfortunately, what happens with a lot of people, if it's, as Ed says, hey, if you just want to have a job, hey, it's a great thing to be outdoors. I love it outdoors. That's why I love the landscaping industry. I love the results that we're able to provide for ourselves and for other people. And as he says, if you want to have a job and provide an income for yourself, that's fantastic. But it is not a business. It's not a business until it's a business that runs itself. If it can run without you, then you've got a business that can do something, provide you not only some financial means, but also freedom in the true sense of freedom, of some liberty to do some things. So when he started, landscaping companies were not good at selling. Owners worked 12 hours a day. And for the most part, the trucks were not the same color and the company didn't have the name on the side of the door. So it was the early days of the industry. And a lot has changed since that. And back then, there were thousands of owners and nothing has changed. And he says, and for many of them, although some have advanced, a lot of other are still not making money. So when he had to grow and he knew that he wanted to grow, he knew he had to hire competent people and to reach his goal. And because his goal was to get independent from the business and to grow independent from it and to build a business that eventually he realized that he could sell. So, what is the secret of success in the business? And basically what he says is that, the landscaping, masonry, construction, all these components of the landscaping industry, they are easy to get into, as Ed says, but it's not an easy business. So, you could have a bunch of people who have gone to college and may not have all these university degrees with a bunch of letters behind their names, but still not be able to run these businesses because there's a lot that happens in between the back office and the front office. There are about, as he says, there's about 50,000 moving pieces to it and a lot of complications to it. So the people who love the landscaping side of it, doing the work out there in the field, it need the benefit of the back office resources, the people that are helping and doing the office. And then the other folks who look at it purely from a business perspective may miss out on the front end side of it. So it needs both of those things, basically, is what it comes around to. And sometimes you find that in one person that's able to accomplish both of those things. But sometimes, and as we'll see, in trying to get to scale, there's a lot that needs to go on within these businesses. So that's the introduction of this wonderful book. And we'll get going, and each of these chapters we'll review with you and provide you a little snippet on it that you can listen to in this sort of podcast and video format. Thanks a lot.